Hello, so I'm done with uni for the year and now I have heaps more time to get back to my music project, looking up stuff I want to do when I go to Japan, and finally getting around to cleaning up my hideous pigsty of a room. Dun dun dun! But I've also been thinking a lot about what I want to do with my YouTube channel, because at the moment I kind of just ramble on about whatever and it takes ages for me to say what I want to say, and I get carried away with all these tangents. And my videos end up being heaps long when I could honestly just say the same thing so much more efficiently if I just planned ahead better, like in this video. Oh my god, reading a script is so hard. I'm like trying to look at the camera and I probably made the text too small, but yeah, anyway, that's what I'm looking at over here. If I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm fucking trying to read what I wrote and like it all sounded good in my head, but anyway, so blah 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 blah, you know, if I planned ahead, maybe things would be more efficient. But on the other hand, maybe this is just my style, maybe I'm just a rambler, and what if I forget to write down something that I actually did want to say and one of my tangents goes somewhere important? Actually, like, it's probably not that likely. I really am a lot better at writing than I am at speaking. It just gives me heaps more time to think and to arrange my thoughts. So, you know, I kind of think maybe I should at least have a rough script. I also think I should be editing down my rambling a bit more and like getting rid of all those pauses and ums and ahs, and, you know, when I go on a tangent and can't even remember where I started from, you know, I should probably try and shorten things down. And then there are those times where I've actually recorded like nearly half an hour of video and then I've made some hideous mistake and I've just been too embarrassed, so I've deleted the entire thing and started all over again. I've done that a few times. And really it probably would have been more time efficient if I'd just taken those shit videos and edited out the bits that were crap. But yeah, I don't know. During semester I didn't really have time to sit down and properly edit everything, so as much as possible I tried to just do it in one take. But I do have time right now, so I should probably get into doing it some more. Speaking of editing, last video I did that warning sequence. It was totally on a whim. I was just so ashamed with that shaky video, you know, my shitty camera work in the gallery. You guys said it was fine, but it made me feel really sick, and yeah, I just felt bad about it, and I'm really not good with watching that sort of thing anyway, but it was probably exaggerated a bit for me just because I have been feeling a bit off for the last few weeks, sort of nauseated and whatever, but yeah, I don't know, maybe it was end of semester stress related. I'm not sure, but I just like was not feeling great to begin with, getting weird motion sickness even when I was sitting still, and then watching that video was just really bad. So yeah, but yeah, anyway, I enjoyed making that warning sequence. It was kind of fun, and it made me giggle a bit, and I mean, I'm a terrible actor, I think. I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought my voiceover sounded pretty forced. But yeah, I like doing it, so now I'm thinking maybe I should do more fun stuff instead of just all the talking. The only thing is I'm using a really, really old version of Windows Movie Maker. You can probably tell from all the subtitle fonts I've been using and whatever. And it's just a real problem for me if I want to do some more editing because it's so limited. And I have to do all this trickery just to get it to place text where I want it to be. And like, even then it looks really bad. You've seen me trying to put text like on this side or that side or in the middle and trying not to have the white on my shirt interfere with it so you can read it. I don't know, it's a nightmare. But yeah, and like, it's a really simple, easy to use program, but there's so many problems with it. I mean, I keep thinking of more problems that I've had with it. It's not easy to edit stuff. So yeah, just gonna flip my page. But yeah, so I've finally been looking into other video editing programs. I mean, it's always a bit intimidating to see all the options and try and figure out which one's going to be the best. But in the past, I used Cyberlink Power Director. Probably still got the disc somewhere, but it was like 10 years ago, actually more than 10 years ago. And if you've seen my bonsai videos from when I was in high school, those were done with Cyberlink Power Director. Yeah, and then a bit after that, I got Adobe Premiere Elements 4, and I've still got it, but it's so odd that it thinks my computer, like the current computer I've got it installed on, it thinks it's Windows Vista. It's actually Windows 7, so you get an idea of how old it is. But yeah, I've had problems with it not working properly, and I'm not really tech savvy enough to figure out if it's because of some setting I need to change or whatever, but yeah, I kind of gave up on it. It was a pretty good program though, like way back in 2008, I made my ghosts video. If you've seen my ghosts video, and it's got my mum dancing around and some weird stuff that I did with green screen that green screen's not really made for. But yeah, like that was kind of fun. But apart from that, I haven't really used anything else. I mean, I've got a Mac, so I've seen iMovie, and I've also seen the more updated Windows Live Movie Maker, but they're both really gross. I just know. Yeah. And then apart from that, I did a drama and film course in high school, but I have no idea what program we used back then, and that was like 2003, and makes me feel really, really old. Anyway, so I need to find something that's relatively easy to use and not too expensive, since I'm just a casual user having some fun with it. I did check out Adobe's programs, but today's version of Premiere Elements costs a little bit more than I want to spend. But I guess if I can't find anything else, I'll go to that. But then I also looked at Premiere Pro, and it's just out of the question, because these days they've got Creative Cloud subscriptions, and I'm not a professional, you know, I can't afford that. I'm so glad I bought Photoshop and Illustrator before they made Creative Cloud mandatory. Yeah, CS6, awesome. But yeah, it's really tempting to have Adobe software, because like, you know, I'm tempted by that sort of thing, like the fancy software and industry standard and like the best, or, you know, according to some people it's the best. But yeah, I don't have a job, so it's kind of out of the question. I can't afford money every month. So yeah, I've been looking around at other stuff, like reviews of different things and some tutorials, and getting tempted by so much of the fancy stuff. Like, it's so cheap these days for what they include. Yeah, wow, technology's come a long way since I last looked at all this stuff. But yeah, because I've been doing those searches, YouTube has now started advertising Filmora to me. And it looks kind of cool, except that I've been reading like mixed reviews about it. Some of it sounds a bit dodgy, but I don't know if they're legit complaints or if it's people who don't realize that it's meant to be beginner's software, so they're saying like, you know, it should be able to do this and that and whatever, without really taking into account what it is. So yeah, it's hard to gauge whether or not that one's worth getting. So for now I'm gonna pass on it, but what do you think? Have you guys used it? Can you tell me any more about it? Is it worth trying? But yeah, other than that, there's a whole lot of other programs. So for now, I've downloaded HitFilm Express because it's free, and I've kind of been sucked in by the whole idea of combining Adobe's Premiere Elements with After Effects into one bundle. I mean, yeah. I've watched some really cool tutorials about what HitFilm can do. I don't know why I'd ever really need fancy effects in my video blogs, but it could be fun, like if I actually take some time to learn it. You know, like who knows what could come out of it. Lame, lame, lame. So I'll give HitFilm a go for a bit, I guess, but if you have any suggestions of free or cheap video editing software that's easy to learn, then please leave me a comment. I do learn relatively quickly, so it doesn't have to be all hand-holdy, but I have heard that some programs have a really steep learning curve, like probably, you know, Adobe software. But yeah, so I'm sort of looking for something in between, and just like something that'll give me a bit more functionality so I can edit my videos properly without all the issues. My computer's a bit old, but I think it's still up to scratch for most of the software, especially since I'm not doing heaps of multi-track whatevers. Hopefully HitFilm will go well though. I really like what I've seen about what it can do, and hopefully I've actually edited this video on it. But if I've completely failed, it's not a huge loss. I mean, it made me update my graphics card drivers for the first time in like the 6 years that I've had this computer. It just never occurred to me that I needed to do that. People think I'm tech savvy, but I'm actually kind of not. But yeah, I don't know, maybe that's fixed some of the problems that I've been having with Windows Movie Maker and Premiere Elements 4. I mean, I haven't actually checked yet to see if they're running better now since that update. But yeah, I don't know, is that a thing? Maybe it's been my own fault all this time that my software has just not worked properly. Yeah, I should really check that. Anyway, another thing I've got to figure out is how to edit videos on my phone, because towards the end of December, I'm going to Japan for a month to visit my family and just try not to stress about life. But if all goes well, I should have internet and I'll be able to keep posting videos while I'm there. I mean, things could go wrong, so I guess like I'll try to have a backup plan just in case. Like maybe I'll pre-record some videos, and I don't know. I'll work it out later. First, I've got to figure out the phone editing thing. I did, like a while back, I did try to edit something on my phone, and it told me to download this thing, so I downloaded it, but I actually ended up just editing on my computer anyway. I can't remember if I was having an issue that day or whatever. But yeah, so I'm not actually sure if the app that it told me to download is actually good or not, or if I should download something else. I really hate working on tiny screens though, so you know, I don't want to pay for some kind of specialized fancy app that I'm only going to use once on this trip. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions about that, what's the best way to edit on my phone? It's a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Let's try this phone editing thing now. Blah 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 blah. Did it work? Did the phone editing thing work? I guess we'll find out when I'm editing it in a moment. Yeah. Also, what kind of Japan videos do you want to see? I'll be with family for New Year celebrations, but other than that, I'm pretty much free to roam Tokyo. And I'm also thinking, like, I might challenge myself and catch a bullet train to Osaka by myself. I'm heaps nervous about that, but part of the idea of my trip is to sort of, you know, expand my boundaries and overcome some fears and also learn some more Japanese. Mum's not coming, so I'm actually going to be forced to speak, and you know, I've been practicing, but I'm still nervous. At least I'll have my phone with Google Translate if I really get stuck, and like Google Maps and whatever, but here's hoping it goes alright. But yeah, I've never actually traveled anywhere on my own, like not even in Australia, so yeah, he's nervous. But yeah, I'm not sure how often I'll be able to post while I'm over there, but I'll do my best. But back to my more general YouTube thoughts, like other than all this stuff about editing and maybe scripting my videos sort of loosely, I'm kind of not following everything, it's more like a reminder. But yeah, I've been trying to think more about what my channel is even about. Like, do I have a theme? Do I have a message? Or is it okay to just go on about whatever's in my head? Is that okay? These are the kind of similar questions that I'm asking about my art at the moment. I'm one semester away from getting my master's, but I still don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm kind of just trying to figure out myself right now, and you know, what am I doing? What am I making? Why do I make it? And yeah, why am I video blogging? And if I just get back to the stuff about rambling that I mentioned earlier in this video, what's the best format for what I want to do? Because I'm pretty conscious of the fact that seeing like the little video icon thing and the length says 20 minutes to half an hour, that probably puts off a lot of people. I mean, I'm not like a John Oliver who's well researched and has all these really funny jokes to pop into the half hour blur. But yeah, if I have something I want to say that I think is really important, then obviously I want to reach more people. And so if I want to do that, I've got to consider people's attention spans a bit more. I mean, you guys are really great. I'm always so surprised that you actually watch to the end, because you pick up things that I don't think you would pick up if you just skipped through or whatever. So, I mean, thank you so much. And I guess like I'm talking about this again because, I don't know, if you like what I'm doing already, then I don't really want to radically change it and disappoint you by, I don't know, messing up my format too much. But on the other hand, I kind of think maybe there's some kind of compromise. Like, maybe I have the start of the video, say the main points and just get to it, and then I can have like a little break and be like, okay guys, here's the extended rambly version, and then just keep going. But the problem with that is like the little video thing is still gonna say, hey, this goes for 20 minutes. And so if you're just a casual person going by, you're like, I'm not watching a 20-minute video, even though the main part of the video is like 5 minutes. So yeah, I mean, it's a perception thing, right? But like maybe another way to do it would be to have more than one video a week and have one that's like the TLDR short but sweet version, and then have the extended ramble version. But I don't know if that's just creating more work for myself. And if I can actually distill everything I want to say into 5 minutes anyway, then maybe the short version makes the long version kind of obsolete, because I do put a lot of rambly filler into the things that I say. So yeah, I don't know. So what do you guys think? I mean, I know I keep asking this a lot at the moment, and you guys are so nice to me, like telling me, hey, whatever you want to do, just ramble about it, we'll watch anyway. But yeah, after playing around with my dodgy editing last week, and also watching some really interesting YouTube channels out there, I'm now kind of like, you know, I want to do better, I want to make better videos. And for the moment, I also have a lot more time to be able to do that. So, you know, I have time to muck around and figure out what I'm doing. And if I can figure that out before uni starts again next year, then I think that'll kind of make my YouTube life a lot easier in general, because, you know, I'll have a better idea of what I'm doing. But yeah, your opinion is really important to me. So if you've got some thoughts on this, or if you can help me with like my video editing programs and whatever, I'd really like to hear it. Because without you guys, I'm kind of just screaming into the void. Alright, that's all for now, guys. Yeah, I don't have some kind of clever catchphrase to sign off on. Maybe I should get one just so that it's easier to say, like, bye for now. I'm never really sure how to go about that. Yeah, no, I've got nothing. See you all next week. What do you think, Kofi? You're not all that impressed with all this, are you?